Hi, welcome to today's lesson. Today I'll be covering a tool that I use in a variety of different drills that I've practiced on. Back when I was in Golf 101, that's what I call a beginner, and Golf 202, something maybe I've just coined, but I've been using on my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, 202 being like the intermediate golfer. Then I have that third one, if you've checked me out, Golf Advanced. That's more when you're really deep in the game, you've had a lot of coaching, you're polishing up things. So today's thing I want to cover is something called the smash bag. It's right here. I'm not affiliated with them. I bought my own bag. It was a tool that my coach introduced to me in my 101 in my beginning, and then I found out I was using it more and more when I became more of an intermediate player. It's you could probably make your own at home. It's made with the same material that's, I think, kind of like a boxing bag. It's just been redesigned. It's got a little zipper on top. You unzip it. It's a big hollow inside. You throw a few towels, loose raggings in it. If you go to Google and put in smash bag, there's a lot of tutorials on that. But it's a great tool to have, and I'm going to show you in today's video 5 things that I can do with it and that you can do with it to help improve your swing and do different drills. So let's get started and let's go on to step 1. A quick note I want to make before we get started is I'm choosing to show the 5 drills inside my local gym in my community. You can start in here, you can start out at the golf range. Sometimes when I'm working on something new, I prefer to be in a little more quiet place so I can focus. Then I go out on the range, take my bag with me, continue it, drop some balls, and then go for it. So that's just a quick note. You can do it either way, whichever's most comfortable for you. So let's get on to number 1. Number 1, the bag. It's a great warm-up drill. In golf, we stretch so we can get loosey-goosey because a loosey-goosey swing helps you feel fluid and have nice shots. You can do the same thing with the bag. Once you've stretched, you can stretch out your swing. You can start off soft, and then gradually as you've warmed up, you can just really start going for it if you want. That way, especially if you're not a member of a place where you can get unlimited golf balls and you're paying per bucket, in this case, you can warm up with this. And then, once you think you're good, go to your bucket and then start warming up for whatever you're working on or if you're going to go play 18. So I find it to be a really good drill to use to just warm up. Another thing you can do, and this is how I originally got introduced to the bag, is a drill that I can show to you that I did that helps to produce a draw. And remember, a draw is a ball that starts out right, it goes left, it goes further than a fade. It's distance. We're always looking for distance. So let's get to it. You take your bag, and I'm going to realign with you on the camera here. I'm in the gym right now, so I just grabbed a barbell. I'm going to put it back in the back side of the bag, touching the bag a little bit, but right down the middle of the bag. You can't see it on the other side, but it's just what I explained. Or if you happen to be out in the golf range, you can grab your alignment stick. If you have an alignment stick, and these things are awesome, do the same thing. Just put it right behind the bag, dig it into the ground a few inches, and you're good. That's all you need to do. I'm in the gym, I'm going to use this barbell. So going down the line, what we want to do is get into position, and the goal of this is to make this bag, when I've come down an impact, land on this side, on the right side of the barbell, and not the left side. Well, why? Well, when you've gone up to the top and you're coming down, remember, an end-out swing is what you want. And that creates an effect where the bag rolls on the right side. That's how you know you're going end-out and you've got that ability to start creating a draw. If you went the other way, where you're at the top, instead of end-out, but out to in, if I hit the bag, notice how it rolls on the left side. That's going to create the fade. If you're aiming for that, great. Most of us are usually going for distance and power. We want that draw, so that we want that end out. If you do this drill and you get it down, start going out on the range, dropping balls, you should be able to see that end to out, the divots being end to out, and you should start seeing a better ball flight. This is a great drill and I highly recommend it. Thanks. Let's get on to number 3 now. For number 3, an item you can do is I'm in front of a mirror and I have the smash bag. Something I did a lot in my Golf 202, and even today, I still live in front of the mirror. It's instant feedback. You can see if what you're trying to do is really what you're doing. In this case, I'll show you what I was using number 3 for quite a bit, but you can do this with anything in front of a mirror and with the bag. So for me, for our number 3, I used to have a big problem of when I came down on my swing, I would be too steep with the club. I wasn't flat enough to be able to help me create a nice draw. And we could see that in my coaching when I was getting coached. So a thing I could do was use the smash bag in front of the mirror. So when I came down, if I knew I was if I was in the right spot. And then I would do it a couple times. Once it looked good in the mirror, then I had a bag to hit. It's a little awkward once again to be able to hit blank, so the bag's nice to have. It's an impact. It feels like a golf ball when you're hitting it. It gives you some kind of feedback, but it lets you be able to practice in front of the mirror, get that feeling, and then boom, get a feeling of when you're hitting something. So that's something you do for number 3. So number 4, here's a good drill to use to start learning how to compress the ball. And compressing happens when at impact, let's say here's the ball right here, at impact, the shaft isn't lined up directly over the face of the club, but it's actually in front of the face of the club. You've seen a lot of times the pros that they have this really awesome athletic look at impact here, and what it's doing is flattening the face out and creating more distance, something we're always looking for. So we can take your smash bag here, find a wall, I have one right here obviously, push it against it, and do a drill that will help us get our body thinking without actually having to think, but it'll think and do the work for us and have those hands in front of at impact. So get in a position, just a normal setup, and then hinge back and go to the top. Try not to go too far because you'll clink the wall, obviously. But go up, and then when you come down, try to have this feeling to where the hands hit the wall. It's just really going to touch. And the face hits the bag at the same time. So it comes and boom, at the same time, hands touching the wall, bag or clubs touching the bag, just like that. And the reality is what you're going to end up doing is meeting in the middle, and that's exactly really where you want to be in a textbook compression swing. So it's a great drill to try to over-exaggerate. So in reality, you're really going to be more like here, and that's what you see the pros do. It's a great drill to do. Boom. I'd like to cover something you could do with chipping as well. I have my 58-degree wedge here, and something I see out in the courses a lot is when people are setting up at the ball, let's pretend like the face of this is the ball, they have the ball way more on the left side of the foot than the right side of the foot. Yes, there's many types of ways to chip. Most of the time we're chipping 10 to 15 yards from the green. It's not very far, so the best way is to have a low trajectory, just like if you were going to take a ball and try to hit something, you'd probably throw it down low and trying to throw it up way high and see if you guess the amount of arc. So lower is always the better when it comes to chipping. So how do you do that? Well, you need to have the ball more to the right side. So instead of the ball being on this side, it needs to be more on this side. How do you do that though? Golf is a game of psychology. Well, a great way is to use your smash bag. Instead of lining the ball or the bag up to your left foot, line it up to your right foot and start taking practice chips like that. And if you start doing it over and over, you're going to start feeling more confident. So when you start feeling more confident, you can also go out to the range or wherever you practice that for your short game, use the bag, drop some balls, immediately start hitting. I guarantee you the first few times, yes, it's going to be a little awkward and it may not go as clean, but just like learning to ride a bike, you do it again and again, all of a sudden you start becoming an awesome pro at it. So use the bag for that. Make sure you line up more to the right foot. You always want to lean a little forward and then just go for it. And then drop some balls and you're going to see the difference, I guarantee you. So that wraps up today's lesson. The smash bag is a good tool, I think, in my opinion, to be able to practice a variety of things, not only just warming up on the golf course, the range, or let's say even at the gym when you're doing some drills, but it can be used as a feedback system. You can put it in front of a mirror, or if you're just doing things that don't even need a mirror, nonetheless, it gives you something to be able to hit without necessarily having to have a golf ball. One thing I did want to note is when it comes to your clubs. This is, I think, my 9-iron I have in my right hand, and then of course I've got my driver on my left here. The shaft on this is stiffer, of course. It's a metal. So when I'm doing swings into the bag where there's something soft or something hard, I'm not really worried about bending my shaft. When it comes to, obviously, a metal wood type, for those of us that swing faster, generate more power, more speed, you may want to have just a little bit of caution in warming up with it. Obviously, you don't want to break a shaft. Shafts are expensive. Other than that, have fun with the bag. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Send me your questions and comments, and I'll see you again. Thank you.